All right, here's how you can build and customize your very own e-commerce category SEO optimizer app using Moonlit, which is a no-code builder. So you don't have to touch any code to build this. And if you've seen the other video, how this app works is basically it creates the three essential like SEO pieces for a category page on an e-commerce website. So like the title, meta, and H1, the top of page text, and the bottom of page text. And it takes several fields as input. So it takes a target search query, your URL, three competitors, and it uses a title tag and meta description modifier. And it even has a field for underperforming and high performing queries. So I'll show you how all of this stuff works together. And first, I'll go through the Moonlit app itself. So I'll just go through these nodes one by one really quickly so you can get an idea of how they're all connected and how they work. And then I will show you the prompt document, and I'll paste the link for that as well, so you can see the exact prompts that are behind these three GPT functions. So for the first part in the text inputs, we have all of the fields. So they're just text input fields. You can see that you can set them as required. You can set a default value, things like that. Here's the second one for your page URL, and it keeps going. So these are the competing ones. And if you go further down the page, you can see like I have meta description modifier. There's the underperforming queries. So really it's just a text input. You don't have to do anything fancy there. You just basically set up the field. Next up is the logic functions. So once you have your inputs set up, now it's time to work on the logic functions. So I have two of them here, and it's page scraping and then OpenAI. For the page scraping, all you have to do is put the text input from one of your nodes into the scrape web page. So for example, this is your web page. So it says text input 360886. Click that, paste it into this text box here on the scrape web page. And then that's all you need to do for it to know that that is the page that it needs to scrape. And you'll have the option here to return the full HTML. If you leave that blank, it's just going to pull the text of the page. Pulling the entire HTML can be very resource intensive. So if you're using the GPT-4 Turbo 128K, it can actually cost like more than $1 per run in OpenAI costs just to run this app if you're scraping the full web page. So I don't recommend that. And then for the OpenAI functions, how those work is you have a couple of fields. You have the text, which is the prompt itself, and you call upon the nodes the same way that you do in the other fields. You just paste their ID. The only difference here is I'm pasting the web pages into the prompt. And what that does is it basically passes the output of scrape web page into the prompt itself. And OpenAI GPT will see that as basically just plain text. Now there's a system message, and you can set the model as well. So you can see I have the GPT-4 Turbo preview. You can set the temperature. You can include the message history. You can add functions like Google search or image search, things like that. But I'm not going to do any of those things. This one here is the title tag and meta description one, and I'll show you the prompts in a second here. This is the top of page text generator, so kind of the same thing. And here is the bottom of page text generator here too. And then for the outputs, you just need to pass the code of the OpenAI to the text output. So you just take that, put it into the text output, and you can label it, and that's all you have to do. So once you've glued together your app, you just got to go test it, and you hit run, and basically that's all you got to do. Now for the prompts themselves, here's the document. It's quite long, so I'll just walk you through kind of the main components real quick here. So number one, for the title and meta prompt, This is actually the same title tag and meta description prompt that I put out the other week. So it's the same thing here. I did customize it a little bit for that wholesale approach, but it's pretty much the same thing. If you're curious about how like all of the elements in that specific app works, I'd recommend watching that video. But basically, the big secret that I found for generating really good meta descriptions, because they can often be wordy, is to give it this specific instruction here to apply ellipsis. It's actually called ellipsis construction. And what that is it's that kind of like typical meta description way of just shortening the words. So you're not saying like long, full sentences. You're saying like shortened sentences. It's called ellipsis construction, and it works perfectly for meta descriptions. Here's the intro paragraph prompt. So it's got a system message, and this one is totally made up. So don't use this system message. It says that you work for Galactic Travels Online or something like that. But the prompts here is what you want to look for. So you can customize your system message to say whatever you want, but here is how the prompts work. So basically, I find it easier to just write out the prompts on a Google Doc and then just paste them into Moonlit. It's a lot easier than trying to edit them within the window, the text box window itself. It's nice to just have this like full screen view. And basically, how you do it on a document is the same way you would do it in Moonlit. You just add these squiggly lines and paste the code in, and that's how you know that you're calling to the right function. So basically with this prompt, it says to review the page HTML, then output the following, and here's all my specifications. So like an H2, 2 to 3 sentences, because you don't want them to be too long. Use nice short sentences. 6th grade reading level to use just really simple words. Optimized to show for these high-performing queries. Improves usage of these keywords. So that's my high-performing and low-performing queries. Only output the heading and paragraph, nothing else. So it doesn't give you like a intro or a conclusion or anything. And do not include any content not relevant to the target search query. I mention products that are relevant to target queries. So you can see how you can kind of just customize it however you want. A lot of the weird, quirky things that I've put in here have come from just testing it and trying to get a specific outcome. And here's the bottom of page content prompt. So same system message, you can just use the same one for both. And then for the prompt itself, review this page HTML, then output the following. And kind of similar requirements here, H2, 2 to 3 sentences, review the heading structure. And this is where I gave it kind of some specifics. So I said to reorganize the headings so that they're more focused on wholesale, and to try and add new headings if you can that are more relevant if the ones on there aren't very relevant. And then you've got your high performing queries, and to use one list, no conclusions, no fluff content or things like that. Mention products that are relevant to the target queries, and only output the requested and nothing else. And then finally, use your competitors as inspiration. So those are the 3 prompts, and you can literally customize them however you like. It's very, like whatever you want to do. If you want to change the theme, make it not a wholesale focus, make it specific to your website, you can do that quite easily. And then you can build it into your own custom app on Moonlit quite easily. And then once you get the app working the way you like, you can actually do a bulk run feature. I won't get into that in this video, but basically you can just upload a spreadsheet and do this app at scale for a bunch of different URLs all at the same time. That's it for today. I hope this helps. I'll paste the document link in the description here so that you can make your own copy, and you can try building your own e-commerce category page app. Thanks.